If you want to change your life and reach your goals, the first step is to rebuild yourself. This means changing your habits, your mindset, and the way you approach each day. It's not easy, and it requires real effort. But the results can be powerful. Imagine waking up every morning with clear purpose, taking control of your actions, and moving steadily toward the future you want. In this video, you'll learn how to cut distractions, build discipline, replace bad habits, and act daily with focus so that success becomes a natural part of your life. If you're ready to stop waiting for change and start creating it, keep watching. This is about your growth, your commitment, and your future. Step by step. Let's get started. Number 1, cut all distractions and focus fully on your growth. If you want to rebuild your life, the first thing you need to do is remove the noise. You can't grow when you're constantly distracted. You can't become the person you need to be when your mind is always jumping from one thing to another. Growth takes time. It takes effort. It takes attention. And distractions steal all three. Every time you give your time to something that doesn't help you grow, you lose a piece of your future. Every time you delay your focus, you delay your progress. That adds up. It doesn't take long to lose an entire year to mindless habits and unimportant things. You have to start being honest with yourself. How much time are you really wasting each day? Be specific. Look at where your attention goes. How many hours on your phone? How many hours watching meaningless content? How often do you say yes to things just because you don't want to disappoint others? These aren't just small choices. They are the reason people stay stuck. You're not going to grow by accident. You're not going to wake up one day and have it all together. You rebuild yourself by being intentional. And that begins with cutting out the things that keep you from being focused. Start by making your days simple. You don't need a long to-do list. You don't need to try 10 new habits at once. You need one thing every morning that you say to yourself clearly: today I grow. Today I build. Today I improve. That's it. And then you protect that intention like it's the most important thing in the world. Because it is. When you take that seriously, distractions start to lose their power. People will always try to pull your attention. Not because they're bad people, but because they're not thinking about your future the way you are. You have to stop letting everyone have access to your time. Your time is not free. Your focus is not free. You can't afford to give it away carelessly. You need to look at every request, every notification, every little temptation, and ask yourself one question: does this help me grow? If it doesn't, you know what to do. Turn it off. Say no. Walk away. That's strength. That's what rebuilding looks like. And it's not easy. It's not fun at first. You'll feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like you're missing out. But that's part of the process. Rebuilding is about doing what most people won't. Most people stay distracted because it's easier than facing themselves. It's easier to scroll than to sit in silence. It's easier to blame distractions than to take full responsibility. But you are not most people. You are serious about becoming better. And that means you make different choices. Use your time wisely. Focus your mind. Put your energy into things that matter. Read something useful. Write down your goals. Work on your health. Talk to people who challenge you to grow. Remove the clutter. Remove the junk. You don't need it. You never did. Every minute you spend focused on what matters is a minute you move closer to the life you want. Every minute you waste is a step away from it. The world will always offer you distractions. That won't change. But what can change is you. You can decide that your life means more than another wasted hour. You can decide that your mind is not a dumping ground for meaningless content. You can decide that your time is too valuable to give away to things that don't make you better. And that decision will change everything. It will give you power. It will give you peace. it will give you momentum. When you remove distractions, you give your brain room to think. When you focus, you begin to notice progress. That feeling you get when you complete something you've been putting off. That sense of pride, that confidence, that's the reward of focus. And it builds, day after day. It adds up. You start to walk differently. You start to speak differently. Not because someone told you to, but because you've earned it. You've proven to yourself that you can stay on track, that you can keep your word, that you can rise above the noise. Your environment matters. What you see, hear, and experience every day influences how you think. If you're surrounded by distractions, your brain stays scattered. But if you take control of your space, clear it of anything that pulls you off track, you'll start to feel it. That sense of calm, that feeling of clarity, that energy you've been missing. You'll get it back. But you have to create the space for it. You have to be disciplined enough to say no to the things that once controlled you. Focus is not something you find. It's something you create. You build it by deciding what matters and acting on it. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You just start. You turn off the noise. You shut the door. You show up. And you do the work. Whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours, what matters is that you give yourself fully to the task. No interruptions. No excuses. There is no growth without focus. There is no success without intention. And there is no rebuilding without sacrifice. The question is, are you willing to let go of what's easy so you can build what's meaningful? Are you willing to trade comfort for purpose? Because if you are, you'll see a change faster than you think. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you stop wasting time on what doesn't move you forward. Focus is your weapon. It's how you rebuild when everything feels broken. It's how you take back control when life feels scattered. It's how you become the kind of person who not only dreams, but actually builds. And that's the difference. That's the reason this matters. The world is full of people with dreams, but very few are focused enough to make them real. Be one of the few. Be the one who cuts the noise, locks in, and shows up every day with purpose. You already have what it takes. You don't need more talent or more luck. You just need to stop giving your time to things that don't matter. Start today. Cut the distractions. Guard your time. Build yourself brick by brick with full focus. That's how you rebuild your life. That's how you win. Number 2, start your day early with a clear purpose. Your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up late without direction, rushing into your day, you start from behind, and that feeling follows you through your tasks. Your interactions, you feel scattered, unprepared, and reactive. But if you rise early with a clear reason to be up, you take control from the start. There's power in the early hours when the world is quiet and your thoughts are untouched. That is your time. That is when you can plan, think, prepare, and set yourself on the right path before anything else touches your day. You don't need to wake up at 4 in the morning, but you do need to wake up before the demands of the world begin pulling you in every direction. You need time before the noise begins, before your phone starts buzzing, before others start needing your attention. That early time is your advantage. It's the space where clarity lives. You can think about what matters. You can look at your goals. You can organize your thoughts. That kind of clarity is not possible when you're already behind schedule or reacting to the world. Start by asking yourself a simple question the night before. Why do I need to wake up early tomorrow? Give yourself a reason that matters to you. Maybe it's time to read, to train, to plan your business, to reflect on yesterday and prepare for what's next. When your reason is clear, it becomes easier to get out of bed. Without a purpose, your bed will always win. It will pull you back in and rob you of the opportunity to lead your day with intention. Success does not wait for you to be ready. It meets you when you show discipline. It arrives for the one who prepares before others have even begun. When you start your day with direction, everything that comes after feels different. You're not guessing anymore. You're not wondering what to do next. You're leading your actions with purpose. That gives you power over your time. That gives you strength before pressure arrives. And it's not just about productivity. It's about mindset. When you start early, you're not just getting ahead on tasks. You're building your belief in yourself. You're telling your mind, I am in control of how this day begins. That alone changes how you speak, how you move, and how you handle challenges. People who start early with purpose tend to be calmer, sharper, and more confident because they've already had time to anchor themselves before the world gets busy. Make your mornings intentional. Don't just wake up and drift into the day. Don't reach for your phone first thing. Don't scroll through other people's lives before you even step into your own. Instead, sit with yourself. Think clearly. Write your thoughts down. Read something that sharpens you. Review your goals. Ask yourself how you can move one step forward today. That's not complicated. That's strategy. And it works because it puts you in a position of control. When you wake up with no purpose, the day pulls you in every direction. You feel overwhelmed before you even get started. But when your morning has structure, your thoughts become clearer. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop chasing and start leading. And that shift makes all the difference when you're rebuilding yourself for something great. If you want to become someone new, someone stronger, someone capable of real achievement, you have to stop treating your mornings casually. They are not just the beginning of another day. They are the most important part of your foundation. That first hour, what you do with it, says more about your future than almost anything else. If you keep wasting your mornings, you'll keep wasting your potential. It doesn't matter how good your intentions are, if your actions don't reflect them. Get serious about your morning. Set a time to wake up and honor it. Don't hit snooze. Don't delay. Wake up when you said you would. That small action builds trust with yourself, and that trust is the foundation of discipline. When you tell yourself you'll do something and you actually do it, you begin to believe in your ability to follow through. That's how confidence is built. Not through talk, through consistent action. Decide what you want your mornings to look like. Don't copy someone else's routine. Build one that works for your life and your goals. Maybe you start with writing. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's studying. Whatever it is, make sure it matters to your growth. That's the only requirement. If it helps you move forward, it belongs in your morning. If it distracts or delays you, remove it. And don't expect your new routine to feel easy. At first, it will feel unfamiliar. You'll be tempted to go back to your old habits. But remember this, you're not rebuilding for comfort. You're rebuilding for strength, for clarity, for real change. That kind of change requires new patterns. And those patterns begin when you say no to comfort and yes to what matters. Every day you get up early and move with purpose. You strengthen your future. You sharpen your mind. You build momentum. It may not look like much in the beginning, but over time, that consistency adds up. You start getting better at thinking ahead. You start seeing problems before they grow. You stop feeling so rushed and panicked. Your energy becomes steady. Your decisions become smarter. People will notice the difference in you, not because you said anything, but because you carry yourself differently. When you've had time in the morning to get grounded, to focus, to think clearly, it shows. You become the person who isn't just getting through the day. You're leading it. You're not confused. You're not reactive. You're present. You're ready. And when hard days come, and they will, you'll be more prepared to handle them. You won't be caught off guard. Because you've built a pattern of clarity and direction. You'll have already thought through your next move, while others are still waking up. That's the edge you earn when you take your mornings seriously. None of this takes perfection. It just takes consistency. Start with one simple change. Wake up a little earlier. Use that time for something that strengthens you. Do it again tomorrow. Build on it slowly. Make it non-negotiable. That's how you turn mornings into fuel for your success. That's how you take back control of your life. One early start at a time. Number 3. Eliminate excuses and own everything in your life. If your life is not where you want it to be, the first place to look is not outside but inside. The first thing you have to do is stop blaming. Stop pointing fingers. Stop saying it's the economy, your parents, your past, your boss, your location, your education, your background. None of those things define where you stay. They only describe where you started. You cannot fix what you keep blaming others for. Excuses don't move your life forward. They lock you in place. The moment you start defending your limitations, you guarantee you will never break past them. If you want change, you have to ownership. Total ownership. That means everything in your life. Your habits, your decisions, your results is yours. Not partly yours, not conditionally yours. Fully yours. That's not easy to hear, but it is the truth. And if you want to grow, you need the truth more than you need comfort. There's something powerful about saying this is mine. My choices, my actions, my outcome. When you say that, you take back your power. Most people stay stuck because they want to feel better instead of getting better. They want to explain why things are hard instead of facing why they haven't changed. And I understand life is not always fair. Things happen that hurt. People disappoint us. Circumstances go against us. But once the moment passes, once the pain settles, the next decision is always yours. What you do from here is yours to decide. Whether you rise or stay down. Whether you move or stay stuck. That's not up to the world anymore. That's up to you. Excuses feel good in the moment because they remove pressure, but they steal your ability to grow. When you say, "It's not my fault," what you're really saying is, "I'm not in charge." That's danger. Because if you're not in charge, then you're just waiting for something or someone else to fix your life. And that waiting can last for years, decades, a lifetime. The cost of excuses is not just progress. It's time. Precious time. You will never get back. Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means you choose to respond with strength. You take what you've been given, no matter how unfair, and you build something better. That's power. That's growth. That's maturity. It's not easy. But the alternative is harder. Living with the pain of regret is heavier than facing the discomfort of truth. Start paying attention to your language. Listen to how often you say things like, "I can't. I don't have time. It's just who I am. I'll try. I'll start later." Or "It's too hard." These are all forms of giving your power away. Change your language, and you change your mindset. Start saying, "I will. I'm responsible. This is on me. I'll figure it out." Speak like someone who's in control, even before you feel it. That change in language creates a shift in identity, and that's where rebuilding begins. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need strong choices. You don't need more time. You need fewer excuses. You don't need to be lucky. You need to be accountable. The people who grow the most are the ones who refuse to let their situation become their story. They acknowledge it. They learn from it, but they don't let it become a prison. Look around your life right now. Every part of it is either the result of action or the result of avoidance. If something is strong, it's because you built it. If something is weak, it's because you've ignored it. Either way, it's in your hands. That's not judgment. That's responsibility. And it's the first step toward freedom. When you own everything, you give yourself the chance to change everything. That's what rebuilding is about. not waiting for someone to come rescue you, not hoping the world becomes easier. It's about stepping up, taking a deep breath, and saying, "This is on me." That's when the process starts to feel real. That's when you stop drifting and start deciding. No more blaming the past. The past is over. No more comparing yourself to others. Their story is not yours. No more waiting until you feel ready. Readiness comes after action, not before. You have to be bold enough to say, "I'm the reason things aren't working," and then disciplined enough to do something about it. That kind of honesty will change your life faster than anything else. You don't have to solve everything in one day, but you do need to stop running from the truth. Every time you delay, you strengthen the habit of excuse. But every time you face the hard things, you become someone new. That version of you, the one who owns everything, that's the person who grows. That's the person who builds. That's the person who finishes what they start. No one is coming to hold you accountable. That's your job now. No one is going to drag you to your goals. You walk there yourself, one decision at a time, one hard truth at a time, one action at a time. That's how real growth happens. That's how your future is shaped. The best part is that you don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need someone to say, "You're allowed to take charge of your life." You just decide. You decide that excuses have no place here anymore. You decide that responsibility is not a burden. It's your power. You decide that you are not a victim. You are a builder, a thinker, a doer. There's no limit to how far you can go when you drop the habit of excuse and replace it with ownership. Because when you own everything, no one can stop you. Not circumstances, not people, not obstacles. You'll meet resistance, but you'll keep going. You'll face setbacks, but you'll keep learning. You'll hear doubts, but you'll keep moving. Because you've already decided. It's all on you. And that's exactly where your power lives. Number 4, build discipline through small daily promises to yourself. Discipline does not begin with huge goals. It begins with small actions you follow through on even when no one is watching. It starts when you say you'll do something and then you do it. Not later. Not when you feel like it. You do it because you said you would. That simple act creates a pattern. That pattern becomes identity. And identity builds the foundation for every result you want in life. If you can't trust your own word, you will always doubt your next step. But when you build a track record of small victories, you begin to respect yourself. You start walking with a different posture because you know that your actions match your intentions. The mistake most people make is thinking they need to do something big to be disciplined. They think they need to make radical changes overnight. But discipline doesn't grow from extremes. It grows from consistency. The smallest promise kept every day is more powerful than a massive plan that's broken in a week. Wake up when you said you would. Drink the water you promised yourself. Read the pages you set aside time for. Complete the workout you committed to. It's not about the size of the task. It's about the follow-through. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you send a message to your brain. I am reliable. I do what I say. I don't break my own rules. And that message becomes who you are. You become someone who takes your own word seriously. That is where discipline is born. Not from pressure, but from integrity. When your behavior lines up with your words, you no longer have to rely on motivation. You act from decision. You operate from a standard, not a mood. Start with one thing. One small promise you can keep every single day. Don't pick something complicated. Pick something simple but meaningful. The simpler the task, the fewer excuses you'll allow. The goal is to build the muscle of follow-through, just like training in the gym. Consistency is more important than intensity. Repetition beats inspiration. That's how habits are formed. That's how inner strength is built. And once that strength is there, you carry it into every part of your life. You don't build confidence by being perfect. You build confidence by keeping your word to yourself. The more often you do what you said you would, the more secure you feel. In yourself, in your decisions, in your future. You stop needing constant reassurance from others because you've learned to depend on yourself. That's what real confidence is. It's not loud. It's quiet certainty, backed by evidence. Most people lie to themselves every day. They say they'll start tomorrow. They say they'll only skip once. They say it doesn't matter. But it does. It matters. Because every broken promise makes the next one easier to break. It weakens your internal leadership. It damages your self-respect. And without self-respect, discipline becomes impossible. You'll always chase quick comfort because you won't believe you can stick with anything longer than a few days. You don't need more rules. You need more truth. You need to ask yourself what you're really committed to. Not what sounds good. Not what other people expect. What matters to you. What will move your life forward. Once you know that, make a daily commitment that reflects it. And don't break it. Don't justify it. Don't delay it. Complete it. When you skip a promise, acknowledge it. Don't make excuses. Don't ignore it. Learn from it and get back on track. Discipline is not about being flawless. It's about coming back stronger after every stumble. The point isn't to be perfect. The point is to become solid, consistent, dependable. And that happens when you stop giving yourself an exit every time things get uncomfortable. A disciplined person doesn't wait for ideal conditions. They create results in spite of how they feel. They keep going when it's boring. They push through when it's hard. They repeat the basics because they know those basics build everything else. There is no secret. There is no shortcut. There is only the habit of showing up and following through on what you said you'd do. Discipline is personal. No one can give it to you. No one can force it on you. You either build it or you don't. But once you have it, it becomes your greatest tool. You can apply it to your health, your work, your relationships, your mindset. Every part of your life improves when discipline is there. You become more stable. You think clearer. You act with purpose. You no longer drift. You ask yourself, what one action you're willing to commit to every day? Write it down. Look at it each morning. Do it, whether you're tired or energized, whether you're inspired or not. Keep that promise until it becomes automatic. Then add another. Stack them slowly. No rush. The goal isn't to overwhelm yourself. It's to build something unbreakable. Something you can rely on when life gets unpredictable. Discipline also teaches you patience. It trains you to work without needing constant reward. You stop chasing fast results because you know the work you're doing is shaping you from the inside. You start playing the long game, and that mindset is rare. It's uncommon, but it's exactly what makes someone successful in the long run. Not the talent, not the willingness to stay with something longer than most people would. Eventually you realize that discipline is freedom. You don't waste time anymore. You don't wrestle with guilt every night. You don't second guess yourself at every turn. You get up, you do the work. You finish your tasks. And you rest knowing you earned your progress. That peace of mind, that self-respect is not something you can buy. You build it one daily promise at a time. Number 5. Surround yourself only with people who push you forward. The people you spend time with shape your thoughts, influence your decisions, and either lift your standards or lower them. If you're serious about growth, you can't ignore who you allow into your daily life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is keeping relationships out of habit instead of intention. Just because someone has been around for years doesn't mean they belong in your future. If someone constantly brings doubt, excuses, or drama into your space, they're pulling you away from progress. You cannot grow in an environment that fights your growth. When you're rebuilding yourself, your energy is fragile. You're forming new patterns. You're challenging your own limits. And that process needs support, not resistance. You need people who challenge you to be better. People who don't let you stay in comfort. People who call you out when you're not doing your best. It might feel uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Encouragement is valuable, but accountability is what sharpens you. It's easy to be around people who always agree with you. But growth often comes from being challenged with truth, not comforted with lies. You become like the people you're around the most. Their mindset becomes part of yours. Their habits influence your routines. Their beliefs either reinforce your excuses or push you past them. If everyone around you is making excuses, you'll start justifying your own. If they're wasting time complaining, avoiding responsibility, it becomes normal. On the other hand, if your circle is focused, disciplined, and hungry for growth, that becomes your standard. And it doesn't take long to see the difference. Evaluate your circle with honesty. Ask yourself, who inspires me to do more? Who holds me accountable? Who makes me better just by being around them? If you can't name anyone, that's a sign to make changes. It's not about being cold. It's about protecting your future. You don't have time to stay stuck because of people who don't want to move forward. Every day spent with the wrong crowd takes time away from the right one. The wrong people will keep you comfortable. The right people will make you uncomfortable in all the right ways. Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you feel clearer or more confused? Are you motivated or mentally drained? Do you leave the conversation with new ideas or the same old complaint? That's the signal. That tells you everything. If someone constantly drags your focus to the past or to problems with no solutions, they are holding you back. You need people who speak about vision, progress, and action. People who are more interested in what they're becoming than what they've been through. This doesn't mean everyone has to be perfect. It means you choose to spend time with people who take growth seriously. They might be at different levels, but they share the same mindset. They value time. They take responsibility. They respect progress. And most importantly, they're moving forward in their own lives. That energy is contagious. When you see someone taking bold steps, building something, overcoming challenges, it reminds you what's possible. It raises your expectation. It makes you want to do more. If you keep choosing people out of guilt or fear, you'll stay stuck trying to carry their weight. You don't owe your future to people who don't care about their own. You can love people without letting them slow you down. You can respect someone's path and still choose a different one. It takes courage to change your environment. But if you don't, it will change you. And not in the way you want. Be intentional with your time. Spend more of it with people who are working towards something. People who make you think bigger. People who ask better questions. People who are building character, not just chasing comfort. Sometimes, you'll need to let go of the familiar to make room for what's necessary. That's not selfish. That's clarity. That's the price of progress. Find people who are honest enough to tell you when you're slacking. Who don't just celebrate you, but challenge you. Who don't flatter you, but respect you enough to speak truth. That kind of relationship is rare, but it's powerful. Because when things get hard, and they will, you'll need people who remind you of your goals, not people who tell you to quit. You'll need people who have been through the fire and stayed focused. You'll need people who push you, not pamper you. Start seeking out conversations that stretch your thinking. Go where the standard is higher. Be around people who talk about discipline, goals, impact, and legacy. Join groups where growth is expected. Study the people who are ahead of you and learn from their patterns. Watch how they think, how they work, how they make decisions. Then model that behavior. Let it become part of how you operate. And as you grow, you'll attract different people. You'll notice a shift. Your energy will change. Your standards will rise. And the people who aren't ready for that will fall away. Don't fight it. Let them go. Not with anger, just with understanding. Everyone is on their own path. But if you're serious about rebuilding your life, you can't wait for everyone to be ready. You have to go where your future demands you go. Choose people who challenge your limits. Choose people who show up for their own lives. Choose people who want you to win. and hold you to a standard that reflects your potential. Surrounding yourself with the right people isn't about popularity. It's about positioning. It's about creating a space where your best self can rise. Because if the people closest to you are focused, disciplined, and committed to progress, you will be. Number 6. Study successful people and copy what actually works. Success leaves clues. And if you're serious about rebuilding your life, one of the smartest things you can do is pay attention to people who have already built what you want. You don't need to guess your way forward. You don't need to try 100 different approaches hoping one will work. Find someone who's already done it, someone who's earned it, and study them with full attention. Don't just admire their results. Break down their actions. Look closely at how they think, how they plan, how they respond to problems, how they manage their time, and how they stay focused under pressure. That's where the value is. Many people make the mistake of only watching success from a distance. They look at the lifestyle, the money, the confidence, but they ignore the discipline and systems behind it. What you see on the surface is only the result. What you need is the process. Find out what they do every morning. Find out how they deal with stress. Learn what they stopped doing to create room for growth. See what they avoided, not just what they pursued. That's how you build a path that actually leads somewhere. You don't need to copy someone's personality. You don't need to act like them. You need to copy the structure, the behavior that drives progress. Success is not magic. It's a repeatable pattern. The people who win are not always the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who understand what works and apply it consistently. You need to think like a builder. Before you create anything, you need a blueprint. And the best blueprints already exist in the lives of people who've earned results through years of real effort. When you study someone, don't just focus on their peak. Look at their beginning, how they got started, what choices they made when they had nothing, what sacrifices they made when it was uncomfortable, how they stayed in motion when others quit. That's where the real lessons are. If you only watch someone after they've made it, you'll miss everything that got them there. The path is often not glamorous. It's filled with early mornings, long hours, hard decisions, and delayed rewards. That's what you need to understand. Not just what they do today, but what they did when they were building their foundation. You have access to more information than ever before. Books, interviews, speeches, documentaries. You can learn from the best minds on the planet without even meeting them. But access is not enough. You have to study, not casually, but deliberately. You have to treat it like training, like practice. Pick one person who aligns with the life you want. Study their daily routine. Study how they think. Study how they solve problems. Then copy what works. Don't waste time reinventing the wheel. Just apply what has already been proven. And when you try something, don't just try it once and quit. Stay with it long enough to see results. Discipline comes from sticking to something long enough for it to shape you. Success isn't built by people who keep jumping from one method to the next. It's built by people who commit to a system that works and then master it through repetition. You don't need something new. You need to get better at the basics that already work. The people at the top didn't get there by chasing trends. They got there by doing what works over and over and over again. There is nothing wrong with being a student of someone else's journey. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Arrogance will tell you to figure everything out on your own. But wisdom says, learn from the best. Learn from those who've been tested. You can avoid years of mistakes if you study carefully and apply quickly. Don't waste your energy proving you can do it all by yourself. Use that energy to implement what actually produces results. Be careful who you learn from. Not everyone who looks successful is living with discipline and integrity. Don't follow someone just because they're loud or popular. Study people who have consistent results, strong character, and a work ethic you respect. Success isn't about flash. It's about depth. Look for people who've stayed strong through pressure, who've grown over time, who've helped others win along the way. That's who you want to model. Take note. Write down what stands out. Don't just listen. Capture it. Review those notes regularly. Let them become part of how you think. Apply one lesson at a time. Don't try to do it all at once. Pick one habit, one strategy, and stick with it. Apply it to your life with consistency. Track the result. Adjust where needed. That's how you get better. That's how you grow with intention. And don't forget to reflect. After you study and apply, take time to think. Ask yourself what's working. Ask what you're avoiding. Ask where you can improve. The most successful people are not just action takers. They are also thinkers. They analyze. They reflect. They adjust. That's what separates a scattered life from a strategic one. As you grow, you'll develop your own version of the system. You'll take what works and shape it to fit your own strengths. That's when the real transformation happens. Not by copying blindly, but by learning wisely. You begin with someone else's blueprint, but you build with your own hands. You take what's proven, and then you make it personal. That's how you move from being a follower to becoming a leader. And the more you grow, the more you'll realize that success is not just about knowledge. It's about application. Most people know what they should do. Very few actually do. The ones who win are the ones who take what works and apply it daily. They don't overthink. They don't wait for motivation. They don't keep searching for the next trick. They study. They apply and they repeat. That's the formula. That's the mindset. That's the difference. Number 7. Track your actions daily and review your own progress. If you want to rebuild your life and reach a higher level, you cannot move through your days blindly. You have to know what you're doing, how often you're doing it, and whether it's actually leading you anywhere. The only way to get that kind of clarity is to track what you do and review it consistently. You don't need a fancy system. You need honesty. You need to write it down. You need to look at it. You need to see the truth for what it is, not what you wish it were. Every goal you set must be paired with action, and every action must be tracked. If you want to know what's working and what's not. Without measurement, there is no growth. Only guessing. And guessing is a slow, frustrating way to live. The people who succeed are not guessing. They're tracking. They know exactly how many days they trained, how many books they read, how many hours they focused. They don't rely on memory. They use records. Because records don't lie. They reflect your real patterns, not your hopeful stories. Start simple. Choose the few things that matter most to your progress. Not 10, not 20, just a few. And write them down. If you want to exercise daily, record it. If you want to study or work on a project, log your hours. If you're trying to wake up early, mark it each day. It doesn't matter how small it seems. The act of writing it builds awareness, and awareness is the beginning of discipline. Tracking also builds accountability with yourself. When you write something down, you create a mental contract. You're saying, this matters enough to track. That one shift in mindset will change how you treat your time. You'll stop brushing things off. You'll stop pretending effort is the same as progress. Because now you're watching. You're evaluating. You're holding yourself to a standard, even when no one else is looking. The reason most people stay stuck is because they never stop to ask themselves if what they're doing is actually working. They're busy, but not effective. They're moving, but not advancing. Tracking ends that cycle. It forces you to face results. And that truth might sting at first. You may realize how many days you've wasted, or how inconsistent you've been. But that sting is the start of change. Once you see where the gaps are, you can close them. You can adjust with precision. You can act with purpose. Reviewing your progress doesn't mean judging yourself. It means learning. It means reflecting. Without excuses. Set aside time at the end of each day, even 5 minutes, to ask yourself what you did, what you didn't do, and what you can improve tomorrow. These small reviews build momentum. They remind you that you're not just going through the motions. You're building something real, step by step. When you review your day, be specific. Don't just say, I did okay. Say, I kept my promise to write for 1 hour. Or say, I skipped my workout and need to fix that. Be clear. Clarity is power. It gives you direction. It shows you what to keep and what to remove. That's how you stay focused on what matters most. As you track and review, patterns will begin to show up. You'll see what times of day you're strongest. You'll notice what habits lead to progress and which ones lead to setbacks. This self-awareness will guide your adjustments. It will help you make smarter choices, not based on theory, but based on real data from your own life. That's how you move forward with confidence, not confusion. The truth is, nobody's coming to manage your progress. That job belongs to you. If you don't measure your growth, you'll fall into the habit of thinking you're improving just because you're trying. But trying isn't enough. Only results matter. And you only get results when you track your actions and adjust based on what's real, not what's imagined. Even the act of writing a simple check mark next to a completed task can build pride. You're proving to yourself that you followed through. You're giving yourself visual proof that you're becoming more consistent. Those little wins stack up. Over time, they shift how you see yourself. You stop saying, I wish I was disciplined. And you start saying, I keep my word to myself. Don't wait until the end of the week or the end of the month to check in. Daily review keeps you connected to your mission. It keeps your habits alive. It keeps your mind focused on progress. The longer you wait to check your actions, the easier it becomes to slip into excuse. Review each day before the next one starts. That way, you're always aware. You're always in motion. You're always growing. Even if you had a rough day. Even if nothing went right. Write it down. Track it anyway. Because that's still data. That still tells you something. Maybe you need more rest. Maybe you took on too much. Maybe you avoided a task out of fear. That's not failure. That's insight. That's something you can fix. But only if you face it. Treat this like a practice. Like a ritual that sharpens you every day. Just like an athlete reviews game footage. You review your own choices. You don't do it to shame yourself. You do it to improve. You do it because you care about the direction of your life. You do it because rebuilding requires honesty, not just effort. You don't need to track forever, but you need to track long enough to build clarity. Once your habits become solid, once your routines are automatic, you'll feel the shift. You'll know when you're off track without needing to look. But until then, use the pen, use the notebook, use the system. Don't trust memory. Trust process. There's nothing boring about tracking. What's boring is being stuck. What's exhausting is spinning your wheels without knowing why. But tracking breaks that pattern. It gives you something real to work with. It gives you a baseline. And when you have a baseline, you can grow. You can compete with your past self. You can wake up each day knowing exactly what to do and why it matters. That's how change becomes lasting. That's how success becomes personal. That's how your rebuild becomes reality. Number 8, choose long-term growth. over short-term comfort. One of the hardest choices in rebuilding yourself for success is learning to say no to comfort. Comfort feels safe, easy, and familiar. It's the reason many people stay stuck in the same place year after year. Choosing comfort over growth is like choosing a temporary pause instead of real progress. Growth demands effort, sacrifice, and discomfort. It asks you to push past your limits and challenge your own habits. If you want to change your life, you must be willing to accept discomfort as a necessary part of the process. Short-term comfort often comes with a cost you don't see immediately. Skipping a workout feels good in the moment, but that choice adds up over weeks and months. Choosing to relax instead of studying might feel like a break, but it also delays your progress. Every small decision to avoid discomfort builds walls around your potential. It's easy to convince yourself that comfort is harmless, but those small compromises create a life of missed opportunities and unfinished goals. Long-term growth requires patience and vision. It means understanding that today's struggle will build tomorrow's strength. It means valuing future rewards more than immediate ease. This mindset separates those who dream from those who achieve. When you choose growth, you accept that the path won't always feel good. You'll face challenges, doubts, and moments where quitting looks tempting. But you keep going because you see beyond the moment. You see the future version of yourself that's stronger, wiser, and more capable. The pain of growth is often misunderstood. It's not about suffering. It's about stretching. It's about becoming uncomfortable enough to break old patterns and build new skills. If you never leave your comfort zone, you stay the same. You miss the chance to become the person you want to be. Real growth happens when you do things that scare you. When you face difficult conversations, when you practice discipline instead of giving in, when you choose action over avoidance. It's important to recognize the difference between rest and comfort. Rest is necessary. Your body and mind need recovery. But comfort is a trap when it becomes a habit of avoiding responsibility. Rest refreshes you. Comfort sedates you. Don't confuse the two. Learn to rest without quitting your progress. Know when you need a break and when you're just running from discomfort. That awareness will help you make smarter choices. Choosing long-term growth means prioritizing your future self. Imagine the person you want to become 5 years from now. What habits do they have? What sacrifices have they made? What choices are different? That future self is real, but only if you take action today. Every decision to stay comfortable pushes that future farther away. Every decision to grow brings it closer. Think of growth as an investment. The more you put in now, the more you'll get back later. But it requires discipline to keep investing when the rewards aren't immediate. One way to build this mindset is to create daily rituals that support growth, even when it's uncomfortable. Set small challenges that stretch you beyond ease. Maybe it's waking up earlier than usual. Maybe it's saying no to distractions. Maybe it's working on a skill you don't yet enjoy. Each time you choose growth over comfort, you strengthen your ability to handle discomfort in the future. You build resilience. That resilience becomes your greatest asset. Another key to choosing growth is managing your environment. Your surroundings can make comfort tempting or growth inevitable. Remove easy access to distractions. Surround yourself with people who push you to stretch. Structure your day so that growth activities happen first, before comfort can sneak in. When you design your environment to favor progress, you reduce the chances of falling back into comfort's trap. It helps to remind yourself that discomfort is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. The frustration of a hard day fades, but the strength you build lasts. The frustration of saying no to distractions lasts a moment, but the skill you develop lasts a lifetime. The pain of pushing through fear lasts a short time, but the confidence you gain is permanent. When you focus on the long term, you find the strength to endure today's discomfort. If you want to rebuild yourself, you must learn to tolerate the discomfort of growth. That means pushing through resistance when it feels easier to quit. It means accepting that progress doesn't always look like success right away. It means trusting the process even when you can't see the outcome. This kind of patience is rare, but it's what separates those who make lasting change from those who only wish for it. Remember, success is a marathon, not a sprint. There are no shortcuts. Every successful person has faced moments when comfort tempted them to give up. The difference is, they chose growth. They chose the harder path because they valued the future more than the present ease. That choice is available to you every single day. It's the defining factor in your rebuild. As you commit to long-term growth, watch how your mindset changes. You start seeing discomfort as a sign you're on the right track. You begin to enjoy challenges because they mean you're improving. You become more patient with yourself and with the process. And you no longer seek quick fixes or easy wins. You build a foundation that can support real, lasting success. This shift won't happen overnight. It requires daily decisions to prioritize what's hard but worthwhile over what's easy but temporary. It demands self-awareness, courage, and perseverance. But when you choose growth consistently, you become someone who can handle whatever life throws your way. You rebuild yourself stronger, more capable, and ready for the future you desire. Number 9. Replace bad habits with strong and useful routines. Changing your life means changing your habits. The truth is, your habits shape your future. If you want to rebuild yourself for success, the first step is to identify the habits that aren't serving you. These bad habits hold you back, drain your energy, and steal your time. You might not notice how they affect your day, but they accumulate. Small habits repeated every day become your identity. So it's critical to replace what's bad with what actually supports your goals. Breaking a bad habit alone rarely works. The space left behind tends to fill with the same old behavior. If you don't have something better to put in its place, that's why replacement is key. Instead of just stopping a habit, you choose a new one that brings strength and focus. This creates a positive cycle. The new routine fills the gap, gives you purpose, and rewires your brain toward progress. Start by identifying your worst habits. Be honest. No excuses. Look at your day and find the moments when you're wasting time or sabotaging your efforts. Maybe it's scrolling on your phone mindlessly, procrastinating important tasks, eating unhealthy foods, or skipping exercise. These habits might feel small, but over time they add up to lost momentum. Write them down. Naming the problem makes it real. Next, choose strong routines to replace each bad habit. These routines don't have to be huge changes. They just need to be better. If you spend too much time on your phone, replace that with reading a book or journaling. If you skip workouts, commit to short daily movement like a walk or stretching. If you procrastinate, try working in focused bursts with a timer. Small wins matter because they build confidence and create forward movement. The key to forming new routines is consistency. It's better to do something small every day than something big once in a while. Your brain needs repetition to build new pathways. Don't expect overnight transformation. Focus on showing up, even if it feels boring or difficult. Over time, the routine becomes natural. The harder it feels at first, the more valuable it is, because it's pushing you beyond your comfort zone. Create clear triggers for your new routines. Link them to something you already do regularly. For example, after brushing your teeth, spend 5 minutes planning your day. Or after lunch, take a quick walk. These triggers act as reminders and make it easier to stick to your new habits. Without clear signals, it's easy to forget or avoid them. Structure supports discipline. Track your progress with these new routines. Celebrate small successes. Each day you follow through, you prove to yourself that change is possible. Don't beat yourself up if you slip up. The path to success is not a straight line. It's full of bumps. What matters is that you get back on track quickly. Consistency beats perfection every time. Be aware of the environment around you. It can either support or sabotage your new habits. Remove temptations that trigger bad habits. If junk food is a problem, don't keep it in the house. If distractions keep you from working, create a dedicated space where you can focus. Changing your surroundings is often easier than changing your mindset. When your environment encourages good habits, your chances of success increase dramatically. Remember that routines give your day structure. They reduce decision fatigue. When you have habits that serve you, you don't waste mental energy figuring out what to do next. This frees up space for creativity and problem solving. Instead of reacting to distractions or emotions, you operate with intention. This level of control builds confidence and fuels momentum. Your routine should include more than just work tasks. Include habits that improve your body and mind. Regular sleep, healthy eating, exercise, and time for reflection are all parts of a strong routine. Neglecting these areas creates imbalance and weakens your ability to perform. When you take care of your whole self, you build a solid foundation for lasting success. As you build new routines, stay flexible. Life will throw challenges your way. You may need to adjust your habits to fit changing circumstances. Being rigid can lead to frustration. Instead, focus on the underlying purpose of each habit. If you can't do a long workout one day, do a short one. If you miss your morning planning, do it before lunch. The goal is progress, not perfection. Accountability helps keep routines strong. Share your goals with someone you trust. Check in regularly. When you know someone else is watching, you're more likely to stick with your promises. You can also join groups or communities that share your goals. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people reinforces your new habits and keeps you motivated. Replacing bad habits with strong routines is not easy. It requires discipline, patience, and effort. But it is one of the most powerful ways to rebuild yourself. Each positive routine strengthens your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who grows daily, someone who is committed to success. That mindset change fuels even greater progress. Focus on one habit at a time, if needed. Trying to change everything at once leads to overwhelm. Build momentum slowly, but steadily. Each successful habit creates a foundation for the next. Over months and years, these small changes add up to a completely new life. This is the power of strong routines. They transform the ordinary into extraordinary. The process of replacing bad habits with good ones is a journey, not a quick fix. You'll face resistance, temptation, and setbacks. That's normal. What separates winners is their refusal to give up. They adjust, recommit, and keep moving forward. Your success depends on your ability to keep building positive routines, even when it's tough. Make the decision to replace bad habits today. Write down one habit you want to change and one routine to replace it. Start immediately. Take small steps. Track your progress. Adjust when necessary. Keep your focus on building strength day by day. This commitment will reshape your life in ways you never thought possible. Number 10. Act every day like your future depends on it. Every day you have a choice. You can treat today as just another day, or you can act like everything you want depends on the decisions you make right now. Your future isn't a distant dream that will happen someday. It's created by what you do every single day. Every action you take or breaks the foundation for what's coming next. If you want to rebuild yourself for success, you must act with urgency and purpose. There is no time to waste on distractions or hesitation. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking your future is far away. You say to yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I have time to get serious later." That mindset steals your potential. Each day that passes without focused action is a day lost forever. The truth is, your future is being shaped right now in this moment. Every choice matters, because success is not an accident. It's the result of deliberate daily effort. When you act every day like your future depends on it, you tap into a powerful motivation. You treat your goals as non-negotiable. You refuse to let laziness or fear stop you. You move forward even when you don't feel ready. This mindset turns ordinary days into opportunities. It pushes you to do the work that others avoid. It helps you rise above excuses and distractions. Acting with that kind of intensity means you respect your own potential. This doesn't mean you have to do everything perfectly or work yourself to exhaustion. It means showing up consistently with intention. It means setting clear priorities and focusing on what moves you closer to your goals. When you know your future depends on your actions, you start saying no to things that don't serve you. You guard your time and energy like a valuable resource. This kind of focus keeps you on track when life gets busy or challenging. Each morning is a chance to renew this commitment. Before you check your phone or dive into tasks, remind yourself why your actions today matter. Visualize the future you want. Imagine the person you're becoming because of your hard work. Let that image fuel your discipline. This daily mental reset keeps you connected to your purpose and prevents complacency. It's a powerful way to stay motivated, even when progress feels slow. Acting like your future depends on it also means embracing responsibility. You stop blaming outside circumstances or waiting for permission. You take full ownership of your growth. You recognize that nobody else will build your dreams for you. This ownership creates confidence. You learn that your power lies in the choices you make each day. It's a freedom and a responsibility that pushes you to act decisively. When you develop this habit, you begin to notice how small actions compound over time. The tasks that seem insignificant today add up to major results tomorrow. Reading a few pages, making one phone call, practicing a skill for 10 minutes. These are not wasted moments. They are bricks in the foundation of your success. When you act with urgency every day, you turn these small actions into unstoppable momentum. This mindset also helps you handle setbacks. When failure or disappointment comes, you don't let it derail your effort. You see it as part of the process and keep moving forward, because you know your future depends on your resilience and persistence. Acting daily with this awareness strengthens your ability to bounce back. It keeps your vision clear even when the path gets hard. Discipline grows naturally when your future feels real and urgent. You stop relying on motivation, which can be fleeting. Instead, you build habits powered by necessity. You don't wait to feel inspired. You act anyway, because you know the cost of waiting. This daily action becomes your identity. You become someone who delivers results, no matter what. Avoid the illusion that your future is safe without effort today. Success is not guaranteed. It requires work every day. When you act like your future depends on your actions, you create that future. You design it with care and focus. You stop drifting and start steering your life toward your dreams. This is the difference between hoping for success and claiming it. This mindset also influences your relationships and environment. You start surrounding yourself with people who support your vision and respect your time. You create routines that reinforce your commitment. You eliminate distractions that waste your energy. Every choice becomes intentional, because you understand the value of each moment. Your life becomes aligned with your goals on a deep level. Sometimes acting every day like your future depends on it. It means doing uncomfortable things. It means pushing past fear, doubt, and procrastination. It means facing challenges head-on, instead of avoiding them. That discomfort is a sign that you're growing. It's a signal that you're moving beyond old limits. This kind of action builds character and strength, that no comfort can provide. Success is not about a single big moment. It's about thousands of small moments, stacked together. Acting with urgency daily is how you build those moments. That's how you move from dreaming to doing. It's how you rebuild yourself stronger, smarter, and ready for everything you want. This commitment transforms ordinary days into powerful steps towards your future. Remember that your future is shaped by the sum of your actions, not by wishes or intentions. Every decision counts. Every habit matters. When you act daily with the awareness that your future depends on it, you create a life that reflects your deepest desires. You become unstoppable because your actions are driven by purpose and responsibility. This is how real success is built, one day at a time.